Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's go ahead and rise and sing praise to our Father today. This is my worship, this is my offering. In every moment, I withhold nothing. I'm learning even when I can't see it. And even in suffering, I have to believe it. If you say it's wrong, then I'll say no. If you say release, I'm letting go. If you're in it with me, I'll begin. And when you say to jump, I'm diving in. If you say be still, then I will wait. If you say to trust, I will obey. I don't want to follow my own ways. I'm done chasing feelings. Spirit, lead me. Oh, Spirit, lead me. It felt like a burden, but once I could grasp it, you took me further than I was asking. And simply to see you, it's worth it all. My life is an altar. Let your fire fall. If you say it's wrong, then I'll say no. If you say release, I'm letting go. If you're really with me, I'll begin. And when you say to jump, I'm diving in. If you say be still, then I will wait. If you say to trust, I will obey. Teach me how to follow in your ways. I'm done chasing feelings. Spirit, lead me. All hope is gone, and your word is all I've got. I have to believe you still bring water from the rock to satisfy my thirst, to love me at my worst. And even when I don't remember, you remind me of my worth. I don't trust my ways. I'm trading in my faults. I lay down everything, 'cause you're all that I want. I've landed on my knees. This is the cup you have for me. And even when it don't make sense, I'm gonna let your spirit lead. I'm gonna let your spirit lead. I'm gonna let your spirit lead. I'm gonna let your spirit lead, yeah. Spirit. it's wrong, then I'll say no. If you say release, I'm letting go. If you're in it with me, I'll begin. And when you say to jump, I'm diving in. If you say be still, then I will wait. If you say I trust, I will obey. You're the only truth, the life, the way. I'm done chasing feelings. Spirit, lead me. Oh, oh, Spirit, lead me. Bless Yahweh, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing Your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless Yahweh, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and Your heart is kind. For all Your goodness, I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless Yahweh, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come. Still my soul will sing Your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Forevermore. Bless Yahweh, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my eyes to see your face. I know my help is in your name, in everything, held by hands of mercy. And I will run and not grow weary. I will rise in my strength. My heart will trust, for all my hope is Yeshua. And now my soul sings, your love knows no end. Your love knows no end. Your love knows no end. I will forgive as you have loved. I will forgive as you forgive. Your love prevails. You fill my life with hope. And now my soul sings, your love knows no end. Your love knows no end. Oh, your love knows no end. Yeah. And now my soul sings, your love knows no end. Your love knows no end. Yeah. Your love knows no end. Yeah. You reign forever. You reign forever. You are the light unto this world. You reign forever. You reign forever. and knowing your loving knows and knowing your loving knows and knowing. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of ya. Oh, it chases me down, finds till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love, yeah. When I was your fault, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of ya. Oh, it chases me down, finds till I'm found, leaves the 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of ya, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me.
Father Yahweh, we just praise you and thank you for this, your Sabbath, which you gave to us for body. Oh, Father Yahweh, we love you. We thank you and we praise you. I ask that your words would flow through me this day, that we would edify and love on one another this day as well. And may we sharpen, iron sharpens iron. Hallelujah. So, today we're going to be talking about belief. And it just happens that our Torah portion is about this exact same subject. Which, it's kind of convenient. Belief. There's so many times we believe so many different things during the course of our life. When we're young, a lot of times we believe we're in love, and we feel in love, right? And, as a teenager or even younger than that, you don't really understand what love is, so we're believing without knowledge or understanding. The word in the scripture for belief is amen. Okay? So the word amen means to build. It has this root meaning that means to build a structure. Okay? So belief is one of those things that the more you walk in it, the more structure you have. And the more structure you have, the more strong that belief is. This week is Torah portion Shalach. Okay? And it means to send out. All right? In the English, the way it's translated, it always gives you this sense or feeling that it was Yahweh's idea to send the spies into the land. But if it's properly translated, it's actually implying that it's the people's idea to send spies into the land. And Yahweh allows it. He allows it. There's a lot of times in our life, I think, where we basically say, Yahweh, this is what I want. This is what I want. And Yahweh's telling you, no, it's not. No, it's not. And we're like, no, really, this is what I want. And I think sometimes he's like, okay, here you go. Here's what you want. And then after it's all said and done, you realize, wow, I guess that wasn't what I wanted. For instance, I'm always, Paul taught me, reading through Paul, he always says, I boast in my weakness so that Yahweh can make me strong. This idea of boasting in your weaknesses. The one weakness I always had was just the whole wasting time thing with video games. I had for quite some time, I had this weakness. And so what the Father has to do when you're in process with him and when you're working with him is he has to change the desires of your heart. He's got to take something that you love that's good for nobody, that's literally, it's not good for your family because it steals time from your family. It's a time thief. It's a time suck. It sucks the time out of you. It sucks life out of you. Because time is the stuff life's made of, right? So it's one of those things. In the moment, when I started playing those games, it was when I was working in juvenile, and I really hated my job. I mean, I hated it. And so I would literally come home and escape and just sit and do something that's brainless, and just fall into this game. And, it's just ridiculous. Looking back, it's one of those things is like, how in the world, could I be convinced that this is a good thing? And at the time, Erica was going through process too, as you could well imagine. Her husband's coming home and playing games instead of, helping me with stuff. And so she was taught an incredible lesson through all this, is that this whole idea of giving it to the Creator. She had to stop nagging me and constantly be like, you got to stop doing this, and she had to stop doing that. And that was really difficult because she, our natural inclination is is to get on somebody when they're doing something that you don't like. But the funny thing is the more she did that, the more that rebellion just rose up even stronger in me to desire this thing that was hurting my family and my marriage. So she learned to give it me. She gave me to Yahweh and just said, I'm not going to say anything to him. I'm just going to love him. And by doing that, there's this idea within the scriptures that when you obey the scripture and give some situation or something like that to Yahweh, just hand it to him and say, it's in your court now, because I can't do anything about this. So I'm just going to be faithful in what you told me to do, which was love him. Right? So that's what she did. And that's what started to break that rebellion in me, was her doing that. But it was her having to come to that point in her life where she was like, okay, this is what the scripture says I need to do, but I need to believe that it will accomplish the work of changing my husband. That's what I need it to do. So I'm going to believe that what you spoke, Father, will accomplish this task. And so in any given situation, in my situation, he had to teach me that everything that this represents is nothing that I want. And so, he would show me, okay, this is stealing time from reality. Ben has a track meet. I'm playing a game, and I'm like in the middle of it, and I look down at my watch. I'm like, oh no, I need to go. And so I do leave, but it's later than I should have left. And I actually missed him running that day. And I had to confess to him, and I was like, Ben, what happened? I was playing the game, and I missed your track meet. I got there, but it was late. So you miss things that you never can replace. I couldn't replace that. So the funny thing is sometimes the Father will allow things, just like we were saying before, he'll allow things into your life obviously to test you and to teach you and to make us stronger. Well, this last week, it was the weirdest thing. I was agitated all week long. And then all of this crud from the past, all this just literal sludge from all those years of playing video games just was coming back. And where it was like all these different memories of all these different situations within the game started just flowing through my brain. Like, and I haven't had any trouble in a long time controlling my thought life. I mean, it's been something that has been rock solid for a while, you know? And it was, so it's like all coming into my brain, and it was making me so angry. And I was just like, I mean, all week, I mean, Erica even said like a couple days ago, she's like, man, what is going on with you? Because it was just, because all the emotions have to do with feeling the shame of playing those games and everything that went along with it, of realizing how much of my life has been stolen by something that is meaningless. But at the same time, it was such a flow of nonstop thoughts that were the game. It kicked in, it triggered different responses that were what I refer to as cow paths in my brain, where there are specific things where we have patterns in our life, patterns that we walk, where we walk these specific patterns just like the cows do when you let them out in the field. They have specific paths they take, okay? And they always take the cow path. The only time they veer off the path is when they're eating. But they always go back to the cow path after they're done eating. Yeah. And it's just, but the thing is, we do that. And we're compared to not only sheep, but we're compared to cows in the Bible too. All right? And, well, sheep do it too. They have their paths. You know, so it's this, so over the course of many years with the gaming, I had repented and quit for a certain amount of time, and then it would come back, and I would do it again. But it would trigger a specific cascade effect of thoughts and responses to that, where I would figure out how to do it in a way that my family wouldn't know, because they knew I repented. They knew I repented of playing games. And then I would go back to it. And so then your brain is doing not only the process of of creating this, okay, how do I do this without them knowing about it? You know, so and Erica, she referred to it as the mistress. You know, because it's the same process that a person would go through if they were committing adultery on their wife, because they're hiding this behavior pattern from the family. And so, anyways, it was by having all this angst and just all these thoughts just coming back into my mind, it was making me I was agitated, like in a big way. But it was triggering that response again in my subconscious, because all of a sudden then there was this trigger of, okay, well, all I'd have to do is I'd have to do this, this, and this, and then I probably would be able to play. And then I would catch myself. I was like, what in the heck is my brain doing right now? You know? And so I literally in my brain, I went through this process, and I didn't even realize I was doing it until I caught myself, was, okay, I always plan on putting a man cave out in the barn. right? And I can send the internet over there through by putting a switch on the line, and I start going through in my brain, okay, how I do this. And so that basically I'd have a computer out there where I could play my game out there. And, if anybody showed up, I was just out there lifting weights because the weight set's out there too, and so it's totally, and then I was just like, what the heck, And so then I was just like, why is this all happening? And I asked him, I'm like, what is going on? And he said, well, what's the Torah portion have to do with? I was like, well, I've been studying it all week. It's about belief. It's about belief. What do you believe? What do you believe? Well, I believe that this isn't good for me. I believe that no matter what, I'm not going back. I'm not going to be a dog licking up my vomit. I'm not going back. It's done. I choose you, Yahweh. I choose you. And so, and all this happened right before sunset on Shabbat, where it was just like boom, boom, boom. And inside of me, it was just like I proclaimed it. I was like, I'm so sick of this. I got to get it out of me, And then I blew the shofar. Me and Jesse were out there blowing the shofars, and in that moment, it was just like, whew, it was gone. All that angst, all the shame, all the feeling of just being an absolute destitute failure for ever allowing it into my life at all. It was just gone. I was like, oh, yeah, that felt good. And Erica could instantly see the change, and it was just like, yeah. But then, she asked me another question about something else, and I got angry again. but and then, Ben and Haley were picking on me, and I got angry at them. And but anyways, we worked it out. But it's belief. And what do you believe? And we got to ask ourselves that every single day. What do you really believe? Because if you believe that everything Yahweh said in this word is good for you, because out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? Well, this is the spoken word of Yahweh. It's all good. Every last bit of it. It's good. It's good. So good. And we have to believe it, though. When he says, don't be anxious about anything, but by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present requests to Yahweh. What's that mean? It means don't be anxious. In other words, don't fear, don't worry, stop being anxious. Give it to me. Give it to me. What we were talking about Bible study is like, if I have a thought that comes into my brain, the majority of the time I just visualize, I say to Yahweh, I say, you're Eshoklah. Eshoklah means you're a consuming fire. All right, and it's one of my favorite. Hazak's it's my all-time, but Eshoklah. I mean, it just sounds like a really cool Cleon something verb. Anyways, but it's consuming fire, right? That's what it means. So I'm like, I don't want this thought in my head. I need to take it captive. So how I do it is I'm just like, burning up, and so I visualize the fire of Yahweh just consuming the thought, whatever it may be. And but that idea of what we need to do as far as reality checking ourselves continually, be like, this isn't good for me. Yahweh says it's not good for me, so why am I doing it? And specifically, where's the battle always at? It's up here. It's always in your mind. It talks about in Isaiah, the one prophecy about the field, that if you allow your field to start growing all these thistles and stuff, all it's good for is the fire. All it's good for is the fire. Well, it's referring to your mind. You're supposed to plant things that bear fruit in your field, that bear fruit that will last for all eternity, right? John 15 is the ultimate go-to on that one as far as fruit. I am the vine, you are the branches, right? But in this specific portion, it's talking about unbelief. Okay, unbelief. So you see Israel. Okay, Israel is positioned right across the Jordan, right next to Jericho. Okay, so they're positioned strategically to take the capital of Canaan. All right, that's where they are positioned. The people have an idea. Let's send 12 spies in. Let's let them do a little reconnaissance. We'll determine, what's up. Are the walls fortified? Are the people big? Actually, Moses, which is interesting because I really think Moses had a heads up. I think he actually knew what was going to happen because Yahweh had pretty much already put in his spirit that he was going to live to be 120. And, there's about 40 years before that was going to happen. And anyways, so I think he had a heads up. I think he kind of knew what was going on. But he gives them, okay, look for this, look for this, look for this. And basically it's everything he said. Yeah, the cities are fortified. The people are huge. But it's a land of milk and honey. It's very fruitful, So he allows them to send the spies in because that's what they wanted to do. So they go in, they come back, and Caleb and Joshua bring back this giant thing of grapes. I mean, it's like so big, this bunch of grapes, that they're carrying it on a pole between them. It's huge. And so the first thing that comes out of their mouth is good. The land's extremely fruitful. But then they start talking about what they saw. Yeah, we saw fortified cities. We saw giants. We saw people that are, relatives of the ancient giants that were pre-flood, the Anakim, and so the people start to talk, and it becomes a mob. I mean, this is mob behavior 101 right here. This mob mentality, because they start just nonstop, and it just builds and builds on this momentum of Yahweh brought us out here to kill us. Yahweh brought us out here to kill our children. You know what? Egypt was great. The way I remember it, yeah, Egypt was great. And they actually refer to it as the land of milk and honey when they're thinking about it. Yeah. So they're just like, okay, we got a plan. We're going to appoint a new leader and we're going to go back to Egypt. Right? Go back to slavery because it sounds so much better than going into the promised land. Reality check, guys. Reality check. What did Yahweh say? Now, everything they were saying, not about Yahweh, but about the land itself, was true. They said the land itself consumes its inhabitants. But Caleb and Joshua saw that for what it really was. Caleb and Joshua knew that Yahweh had sent hornets in ahead of them, which actually killed a whole bunch of the inhabitants before they even got there. So the hornets and this is a side note, but the root word for hornets has to do with medzora, which is leprosy. Okay? Now leprosy is given to someone when they speak evil. Okay? When you speak evil in the camp of Israel, you get leprosy. And you are removed from the camp and considered dead until you go through the process of resurrection and brought back into the camp. Okay? But the root word there for Medzora is hornets or wasps, which I thought was really interesting because it's doing the same thing. He was sending the hornets in to cleanse the land. Okay? Just like he sends leprosy into the camp to cleanse the camp. All right? So we see these themes where the 10 spies that went in, they saw all these dead Nephilim. So you have all these giants that are dead, and they're waiting to be buried. But they were killed by hornets. All right? So Joshua and Caleb, they see it for what it is, Yahweh's provision and preparation for them to enter the promised land. The other 10 see it as, oh my goodness, if we live there, that'll happen to us. That'll happen to us. Well, we don't want it to happen to us. And this is one of those things in the Mishnah where it's the historical kind of oral Torah, but it talks about the fact that, and you women are going to love this, it talks about the fact that the women, being more spiritually sensitive, said to their husbands, no, we need to just do what Yahweh says and go in. And the men are like, we like our facts. We like our bullet points. But there's giants. There's hornets. The cities have walls that are huge, and you can ride chariots on them. They're so thick. Let's look at the facts here. We're not going to overcome these people. We can't. There's no way. So the men, they were the ones that were totally just, nope, not doing it. So what happens? Moses, they were literally going to stone Joshua and Caleb. They were so upset with them. They were going to stone them. Moses then comes forward and tells them what Yahweh thinks about all this. He says, reality check, guys. Reality check. This is what's going to happen. You said that you brought us out here to kill us. Well, guess what? You're going to die. And so that's what he said. Yeah, that's true. You're going to die. But guess what? Your children are going to live. You're going to die. And so he's like, yeah, you're right. You're going to die. And they were so upset and so convicted. I mean, they were convicted to the core that literally they're like, oh, there's some Canaanites over here. We'll go fight them right now to prove how loyal we are and yeah. And Moses is like, no, don't do that. Yahweh's not with you. But they did it anyways. Because when you don't obey his word, you're going to make bad decisions. And you're going to continue to rebel. So they got another word and they still rebelled against that. Because that's the way it works. Rebellion begets rebellion. Like for like. Faithfulness begets faithfulness. Victory begets victory. So, reality check. In Hebrews, it talks about a sin that leads to death. Okay, a sin that leads to death. And that sin, according to the rabbis in the Oral Torah, is unbelief. Because it kills you spiritually. It rots you out spiritually. So, the Israelites in this situation, they had a choice. And they made the wrong choice. They chose not to believe. But there was two that did believe, and that was Caleb and Joshua. And they were preserved for that 40 years that they wandered around in the desert. They were preserved. And from the understanding that in the word here is Moses, for instance, says he was just as strong as he was when he was a youth to the very day he died. Caleb, when they came back 40 years later, says, yeah, I'll take on the giants on the hill country. That's what I want to take on. That's my battle. That's the ones I want. I want to take the giants. And Joshua, specifically, before he entered the land, his name was changed from Hoshea to Joshua, which means Yahweh is salvation. And he was chosen specifically to take the people into the land. Okay? We have an opportunity every single day of our life to either see obstacles, to see crisis, to see people that we just don't like, or we have the opportunity to see with eyes of faith, as Caleb and Joshua did, and see that the promised land is already ours. That it's already ours. The Father said, it's ours, and it's ours. And we can see every single one of those situations that come into our life as an opportunity. An opportunity to walk in a very different way than the typical person when faced with a situation would walk. In fact, it'll look exactly the opposite of what the world does every single time. Because in Romans 8:7, it says that it's impossible for the carnal mind, the fleshly mind, to obey Torah. It's impossible. Can't do it. It literally will not submit to the words that are in the scripture. One of the things they said about the people there is this whole idea of grasshoppers. Basically, they were like, we look like grasshoppers. We were grasshoppers in our own eyes. So they're saying we're bugs. But they had just been at the mountain 11 days before that. They were at the base of the mountain before they broke camp. And they were told they were sons and daughters of Yahweh. So Yahweh spoke to them and said, you are sons and daughters of mine. That's their identity. But when they're faced with this crisis, what do they say? They say, we're a bunch of bugs. We're bugs. And they're going to swat us, and we're going to be bug mush. And he's calling us to never lose that vision of who we are in him. This idea that we are sons and daughters of the creator of the universe, and that if he's for us, who can be against us? Everything and anything can be overcome, including, and specifically, we're called to change the world around us in the same way that Israel changed that whole region. That whole region was full of pagans who sacrificed their children to pagan gods. It was full of giants that practiced all kinds of occultic stuff and sexual perversion. And it said Yahweh sent them to cleanse the land, cleanse the promised land. But he also said that if you start doing the things that these guys are doing, the land will be cleansed again from you. So we see that happening, and it prophesied, even in the Song of Moses and everything. There's multiple prophecies of how it's going to play out. And every single time, the thing that kills them spiritually is unbelief. And one of the interesting things is the first thing that left them every single time was the keeping of the Sabbath. Every single time. And over and over again, he says, remember my Sabbath day. Remember. That was the first thing that we. And then there was that slippery slope. You know, if we're not keeping Shabbat, we don't have to. There's all these other things that we know he wants us to do, but do I really have to do it? I think I can justify a way around that, commandment. I don't have to do that. Or you say in your brain, oh, there's not even a commandment specifically about that. There's no commandment about spending 24/7 with my phone, playing Candy Crush. There's no commandment specifically about that, right? Yeah, well, there is. It says, redeem the time, for the days are evil. Redeem the time. In other words, everything that we are, just like we say the Shema every single week. And that which is translated, love Yahweh with all your heart, all your soul, and it's always translated might. It actually means all your muchness, all your resources, everything that you are, you need to give to him. Every last bit of it. And the thing that I've learned more than anything else out of all my stupidity of the years of playing stupid video games is how precious time is. Out of all the things in our life, that the most precious thing we are given as human beings on this earth is time. And if we aren't redeeming that time by listening to the Father and doing what he tells us to do in the moment, we're wasting time. And really, to say that accurately, you're wasting life. Because time is the stuff life's made of. And when you waste time, you waste life. And, I work in a job, corrections, where people are, all they can wait for is, can't wait to retire. That's all they ever think of. That's all that their whole mentality is about. I can't wait to retire. Can't wait to retire. And, but they're wasting the time they have right now. Waiting for this time when they have all the time in the world. Waste more time. The Father, I don't believe for a second, within the body of Messiah, I believe there is no retirement. If anything, I think as we get older, he calls us to step it up more and more, because we have more knowledge and we have more that we can share with all the other generations before. Because if we're in him, he promises, if we're walking with him, he will make us stronger and stronger and stronger. That's what he does. That's what he does. That's what his word does. Hazak ve'ametz labeha. Strengthen us, make us courageous, and where we're just bubbling up with courage 100% of the time. There's curses and there's blessings. And the blessings, there's 11 blessings that are listed, and there's 33 curses. But those blessings are phenomenal. One of the blessings that I like the most is one will chase, how's it go? One will chase 100 and two will chase, 1,000, and but it's basically it's saying in a war situation, you guys are unstoppable. You're unstoppable. But it also says on the opposite side that if you're not following Torah, if you're not obeying his spoken word, psychological problems will be your lot. You will be fearful, and you'll have all kinds of psychological problems. You'll be paranoid. It's the number one thing that happens when you don't obey Yahweh's word, is you'll be paranoid, and you'll be fearful of everything. The whole world's out to get me. The government's out to get me. The drones are coming. The black helicopters. There's nanos, and they're going to get me. They're spraying all this chemicals in the air. They're going to kill me. I'm going to have cancer. Everything's out to get me. No. Yahweh is for you. Who can be against you? Reality check. Believe it. Yahweh's got your back. There's nothing that the world can send at us that will harm us if he doesn't allow it. So believe it. Walk in it. Know it, because it's the truth. That's what we're supposed to walk in, is truth. And there's another word that's bitahon. I'm probably not saying that right, but that's my closest attempt. But it means to sincerely feel safe and in like your parents' arms. It's like this idea of being cradled by your parent, and feeling that security that comes along with it. It's an emotional kind of just knowing that he's got you, that he's got you, and he's not letting you go. He wants the best for me, and I believe it, and I know it. So, it's interesting. The way this Torah portion ends, it has to do with tzitzits. And tzitzits are an interesting thing. There was probably one of the things I struggled with most when I first read it. I was just like, what's up with tzitzits? Right? So, but the thing is the thing I had to come to was exactly what this Torah whole thing's about. It's just, if he spoke it, and everything that he speaks is good for us, then why don't I just walk in it? I don't feel like my salvation is hinging on whether I am wearing tzitzits. I don't feel it's not. My relationship with Yeshua, that's what my salvation is hinged on. But if it's good, let's do it. If it says blow the shofar when you're being oppressed, let's do it. Because it says, I'll heal your land. And it talks about the tzitzis as being something that's crucially important in the last days. That all of us are identified as children of the Most High. You see, in World War II, when they were rounding up all the Jews, they made them wear yellow patches, right? To identify them as Jews. Well, if all of them were wearing tzitzits, they would have never had the yellow patch. Now, right now, we were talking about this, but right now, in Europe, things have gotten so bad, the anti-Semitism, all the rabbis are telling everybody that's Jewish to not wear their tzitzits in public. Yeah. But this is the time to wear them. You're either strong and courageous in Yahweh or you're not. Everybody's afraid, well, if I sign this petition, that says I am against what the government's doing, well, it's putting a target on my back. Well, you know what? Yahweh's saying, put a target on your back. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid. Just do it. And if you're doing it because it says it in the Word, you're walking in faith, am I not going to have your back? Am I not going to have your front? Am I not going to take care of you? For sure. He's going to take care of us. He's going to take care of us. So never think of yourself as a bug that could be swatted, because you're not. You're a son or daughter of the Most High, and you're unstoppable. And not only unstoppable, but you're invincible until Yahweh says it's time to come home. You are invincible until Yahweh says it's time for you to come home. And when that time comes, you'll be ready. And you'll be in arms that love you, and you'll feel more safety and comfort and shalom in those moments. And every time we recognize that, we feel that. He's got us. So, reality check, guys. Believe. And think about what you believe. And walk in it. Walk in it. That's all I got.
Let me be filled. Can we get the words on there, please? Let me be filled with kindness and compassion for the one for whom you loved and gave your son for humanity. Increase my love. So help me to love with open arms like you do. A love that erases all the lines and sees the truth. And know that when they look in my eyes, they would see you. And even in just a smile, they would feel the Father's love. How you love us, from the homeless to the famous and in between. You formed us, you made us carefully, 'cause in the end, we're all your children. So help me to love with open arms like you do. A love that erases all the lines and sees the truth. And know that if they look in my eyes, they would see you. And even in just just a smile, they would feel the Father's love. Let all my life tell of who you are, and the wonder of your never-ending love. Let all my life tell of who you are. You're wonderful and such a good Father. Let all my life tell of who you are, and the wonder of your never-ending love. Let all my life tell of who you are. You are wonderful and such a good Father. Oh, you are wonderful and such a good Father. So help me to love with open arms like you do. A love that erases all the lies and sees the truth. And know that when they look in my eyes, they would see you. And even in just a smile, they would feel the Father's love. Heavenly Father, Yahweh, we just come before you right now, thanking you for this wonderful day. We pray that you will be with us and in our hearts as we come before you on the Sabbath day. And we thank you for all that you've done in our lives and all that you will do. We thank you for our family and for our friends. And we ask all of these things, and we pray that you will bless the food and help us to have a great rest of our day and safe travels for everyone heading back home tonight. And we just thank you for everything in Yeshua's name, Father. Hallelujah.